Good morning. It's Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And, of course, it replays in its entirety on Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. And on the internet, whichever way you might use the internet, computer, used to be all computers, and then now everybody carries an iPhone, iPad, and you can reach us on in that method. And of course, I've got my sidekick here, Andrew.
Good morning.
And we get some good reports about people using the internet to watch the program. We may talk about somebody they know well, they didn't get to see it, they go right to it, and you can actually go from quarter to quarter to quarter.
Pick your quarter if you want to cut
across. You know what quarter we spoke in, you can go right to it. And
or you watch the whole thing too.
Watch the whole thing, we hope. But anyhow, we appreciate your efforts to let us know that you are enjoying the program. And when you see us, so you have
worldwide, it says.
Worldwide, that's right.
Man.
Look at.
And the earth is on fire, it looks like. I mean, we're burning it up.
We're burning it up. Go ahead, Steve. You got it, baby. That's some of our technicians' technical work, and it's very...
Steve Gauthier, not the Louisiana Gautiers, the Northeast United States Gautiers.
Yeah, but they all come from Nova Scotia
I'm sure.
And Quebec City and all of that. He's shaking his head, that's right. And of course, this program and a lot of other programs that you watch are paid for or by sponsors.
Yes.
And we need to get to some real good sponsors that we have doing the Bobby Dupre Show.
Where will I start? I guess I'm going to start with the Quarters Casino. We'll give them, usually to get kind of towards the back of the show, we'll get them on the front of the show this week. Quarters Casino, go by the Travel Plaza there, get all your fuel. If you're diesel, if you're gasoline, good Chevron products, go inside the convenience store, get you a Subway sandwich, some good pizza. You can get Stuckey's candy and all your cold drinks and cold beverages and harder adult drinks as well. You can bring all that as well with you. And you can go to El Pico de Gallo, good Mexican restaurant and canteen. We've showed a lot of pictures the last couple of weeks. Great authentic Mexican cuisine. And flan, I think, is our favorite dessert. Me and Steve, we like the flan that's over there. If you're going to have some of that, go try it. Great, great place to go. And try your luck in the casino part as well. And one more sponsor, let's go with Targill Seasoning. Targill cake supplies, restaurant supplies, butcher supplies. You know, for years people thought of Targill as being just a butcher supply place.
That's what it was originally.
You would go, you'd buy your knives or your chopping blocks, and they've got all that there. But if you want the sausage stuffers, if you want to go take a cake decorating class, if you want to have your kids take classes, they got classes for kids as well. If you're a restaurant, if you're a grocery store, if you're a caterer, if you're a outdoor kitchen type of guy, or a camp cook, go by. They'll help you out there at Wartell Street, Annapolis. Go to targill.com for more info.
Okay, let's go to the National Day of Prayer.
Yes, sir.
Our dear friend for many, many years, Ms. Fawn Futrell, sent this to us as an annual time set aside to pray for our nation and our families. This is supported by many national Christian organizations and asks for all people to participate and do so. This day is always the first Thursday in May. So it's today. While you're watching this program, you can say that you might just say a prayer. And prayer for peace, and prayer for your neighbors, and prayer for your family, of course, and prayer for yourself. But it's a prayer it's a national prayer. And then you can just use international, because today the world is so global. I'm finally
the world is small.
The world got small, and the internet is part of the reason for this being so small. And this year to be May 1st at noon, and usually at city halls or some courthouses and gathering places. So
when I was a little boy, that was May Day.
May Day, yeah, that's correct.
May Day.
And the judges have a May Day, Red Day, they call it.
The Red Mass.
That's
Absolutely.
Right. And that's on around the 1st of May.
Should be. I guess that's true.
I don't know if they're
you're
still
ahead of
doing
me on that. That's right.
Port Barre will be having a service, Ms. Futrell, of course, from Port Barre, Thursday 1st at the Port Barre City Hall at 12 noon Public is invited and urged to attend.
There you
Thank you, Ms. Fawn, and please keep it on. And may I pray for you right now that you continue having good health and be with us for all these good messages that you've sent to me and my program for the last 40 years.
Mm-hmm. And we've also got the 4th annual Opelousas Catholic Sporting Clay Challenge. They shoot, what you call that, clay targets, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's another word I'm looking for. It'll come to me. Skeet shooting. That's what I'm trying to remember. You can go and shoot clay targets. It's going to be May the 10th. They want everyone to register by May the 5th, though. So if you want to give them a call, you can call Denise Canatella. It's over at the Lodge, north of Melville. Some of you have been there. Beautiful place. They had the wedding last weekend. 592-0592 for Denise. If you want to call Jude Arman, who is basically Mr. Gun and Skeet Shoot and Gun Giveaway through Opelousas Catholic, 351-2304.
There's a lot of
volunteer work to help the school. And his wife works at the school, too.
Yeah, that's right. She's
a
teacher
he
there.
does a lot there.
And their daughter is also there.
Does. How about this other thing we got going on? We got the Golf for the Homeless coming up on May 12th at the Indian Hills Country Club. You and I love the Indian Hills Country Club because of the work they do for the Cerebral Palsy Clinic for us. But they're having Golf for the Homeless. That's the Lighthouse Mission. $300 a team is on May 12th. 2 flights, 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. Call Mike Fontenot, 351-7851. Great guy, great calls. And I understand that Nissan of Opelousas is going to give a Nissan Altima if anyone hits a hole-in-one on a par 3. They'll also give away golf irons, golf woods, and cash for anybody on. But I mean, win a car if you hit the hole-in-one. Wouldn't be too bad.
Not bad at all. And then, of course, the owners of Indian Hills Country Club, Lee and Shirley Young and their family, sponsoring their annual St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. They sponsor a golf tournament, and it starts Friday, Saturday, and Sunday over here at the Indian Hills Country Club in Opelousas. And what better fundraiser can you think of?
St. Jude's a
than
great,
St.
great
Jude's.
place.
It's been a place for children to be treated, not just for their cancer, but it's a research center. And so they take care of all the children's needs. So when you give $1,
nationwide, worldwide,
when you give $1, it's going to a real good place, and a place that has taken care of thousands of young children. And then the research continues to help them better understand how to treat the various types of cancer and what to expect during each stage of the cancer. Right. So thanks to Indian Hills Country Club and the owners, Lee and Shirley Young.
And that's going to be on May the 2nd. That's on a Friday, okay?
Yep, Saturday and a Sunday.
Right. And if you want to help also with St. Jude's the same weekend, May the 3rd, over at the new Silver Slipper in Paconya, May the 3rd, there's going to be an annual brisket cook-off. It's the 10th annual brisket cook-off to help St. Jude's as well. So if you want to go by there, you can call Janet, 879-7050. They'll be cooking briskets all day long, all around. They just rebuilt a new place. A lot of people have gone and tried the new restaurant there. Go by and tell our good friend over there, Mr. Melanson, we said hello.
Okay, on the
deaths?
The death,
yes.
we want to mention a couple of deaths that has taken place. About within the last month to 6 weeks ago, we spoke of a big, probably the biggest, most successful fundraiser that's ever been given in the Opelousas St. Landry Parish communities, was given for Bonnie Thibodeau Desertel.
To help with her cancer
problems. And she had worked and managed J.T. Wine Trucking Company for Morris Weinstein and his family for many, many, many successful years, I might add.
Yeah, if you did any business there, you had to talk to Bonnie at some point.
That's correct. And Bonnie died since then, and was the funeral was held Friday, April 25th. That would have been last Friday.
Great lady, married to Keith. Wanna wish him condolences, but
yes.
she was one of those good people that when you went over there, you know, some days you might catch Morris in a bad mood, you know, you might, But Bonnie was always right there and took care of your business, and she was always in a good mood and helped take care of you to make sure that everything was done the way you wanted it done. And that's what you want. Any man that runs a business wants to have a good right hand, and she was that right hand, for sure.
I had Miss Darborn for many, many years.
Absolutely, Miss Francis. Oh,
That's
yeah,
right.
what a sweetheart.
You hit it right on the nail. A person that was killed very unexpectedly in a car accident, vehicle accident, was pickup trucks, but vehicle, was Jerry Moe from the Giudice area, Lafayette Parish area.
Sure.
A person that was well known. He was only 74 years old, but had held the position of president of the board at Slimco for 22 years, had been a member of Slimco member for board member for 32 years, but president for 22 years.
Close friends with our friend, Mr. Gajo.
That's correct,
Right.
and worked side by side. And of course, at the present time, he was also serving as president of the, he was chairman of the Louisiana State Horse Racing Commission. And in fact, this big matter that's before the board right now, referring to the fairgrounds in New Orleans, they voted to not renew their, automatically renew like had been doing pretty much, their licensing for a 10-year going forward. They come in every year and it's a 10-year going forward.
Make some corrections and
they
updates.
agreed to do certain upgrades, particularly the racetrack itself, and more particular, the turf course. They hold this jazz festival, which is going on now for 2 long weekends.
Absolutely.
And it's held on the track. And,
which is nice and great, except if it ruins the horse races, why do you have the horse races?
Yeah,
I mean,
so it's chicken or the eggs, you know?
Right.
And anyhow, he was very instrumental in holding this up, I understand, and this has to be a matter taken up right away. But I had got to know his son, Will, very well. On Tuesday afternoons, you all have heard me mention that I attend this little chapel service on the backside of the race. There's a chaplain at each one of our 4 racetracks.
Sure.
And on Tuesday afternoon at Evangeline Downs, our chaplain is Dwight Brown. Many of you know him as a Opelousas City policeman. Well, Will, Jerry's son, attends those, and I've got to really feel close to the family. So I was able to attend the wake for a few minutes and paid my respects to the family, and certainly keep Jerry and the family in your prayers, please.
Very good. And what else do we have? We're getting down to almost commercial time, but we also talk about Music and Market is this Friday, May the 2nd. And we're going to have at the Courthouse Square rather than at the Vieux Village. Dollar Short will be playing. You should have a good time there. And I don't know if they've got a food or not or a vegetable, but go by. You'll have a good time. It's 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. with music, drinks, and good food. Go by the Music and Market at Courthouse Square. We're going to take a 1-minute break, folks. We'll see you the other side of 1.
Welcome back to the second quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show. And of course, we do the show in 4 quarters, and my sidekick, Andrew, here.
Good morning.
What are you doing?
I was waving. I mean, I don't want to do it too fast.
Right.
Hopefully, I attract your attention and I get introduced.
Okay, now you're going. That's about right. But I want to pay you for this quarter.
If I don't promote myself, who's going to do it?
That's my saying. That's why when I give out cards and all that, people say, you never stop, do you? I said, well, the day I stop is probably when they're going to come for the funeral.
As you and I have gotten older, you've learned how much I listened. I have listened to all your lessons.
A lot of
definitely picked it up.
Yep. A couple of sponsors, please.
Oh, I can handle that. How about Dixie Storage? All your storage needs, personal, commercial, refrigerated, air-conditioned. You can handle all that as well. If you got to bring in your RV, plug it in so the refrigerator keeps running. If you want to just put a little handful of parts or maybe a computer testing equipment, whatever your little business might be, maybe you want to leave some of your stuff there so your different technicians or salesmen can get product. They can go do it. Maybe your product is you got a daughter about to graduate high school and you want to put some of Mama's sofa and bedroom set stuff in storage while you bring in the new stuff for the house and send the old stuff off to college so the kids have it to use at college. You can do that at Dixie Storage as well. They've got A+ Glass, their sister company, with locations in Lafayette and Annapolis that do personal and commercial glass from your cars to your house to your business. They do inspections for Liberty cars and big 18-wheelers. They also do even make signs. You know, recently at 3 Mile Lake, and we're still getting some last-minute stragglers sending in their money because we changed the key at the public boat launch at 3 Mile Lake. I say public, the members boat launch at 3 Mile Lake. We had some signs recently made to remind people, watch yourself. If you need information, call these numbers. We had those made at Dixie Storage, so they do that type of thing as well. Don't forget about them. Go see Joey Doucette.
That's correct.
The man.
He can help you.
And one more sponsor. How about Carl's Thrift Away? Go by Carl's. You can get your medicine prescription refilled. You can also get over-the-counter medications. They do compounding of multiple medicines, make it easier for you. We always talk about it, you and I, that in Louisiana, by law, your prescription has to be in your prescription bottle. Don't put it in those little extra containers and all that, because if you get stopped on the road, they're going to want to know what you're doing with those pills that's loose. They want to keep everybody clean and legal. So get multiple prescriptions compounded, make it easier to carry, one nice neat container with your prescription information on it so you're legitimate and legal. Cross Thrift Away can do that, and home decorating ideas there. Gifts, graduation is happening right now. If you need graduation gifts, go by there. Confirmation gifts, perhaps you have a junior in high school who is confirming in a couple of weeks at St. Larry Church like I do. Cross Thrift Away has great gifts for that as well.
Mentioning something that we've talked about, and I think I'm going to make it a part of hopefully every program, and that's wearing of the seat belts. It's becoming more evident, I guess, as I get older and as I read of accidents that occur and deaths that occur in the accidents. Most of the time, person is not wearing a seat belt. Now, in Jerry Moe's case, he was hit pretty much head on. He didn't have seat belt on, but I don't think that would have saved him. But the little girl that was driving the other vehicle, who was charged with negligent homicide, if I read the article correctly.
It saved her life.
It saved her life. So I noticed right here, one car crash claims Melville driver's life. This particular driver didn't have his seat belt on. I think the passengers had their seat belt on.
And they came out fine.
And they came out okay. So what I'm trying to say is, it's making me, it's doing good for me too, believe me. I'm making sure that I have my seat belts on. I was kind of flagrant when it came to that. Didn't think about it like I should, but today when I see all the things that happen to friends and people in our community, we're not talking about accidents happening in Georgia or some other state.
It's people you know.
People we know, people that we know the families and everything. So put those seat belts on as soon as you get in that vehicle, please.
Absolutely.
And another death that I was called on just prior to taping the program. We taping on Tuesday today. Very unusual, but once or twice a year we have to move it up to Tuesday because I'm having to do something or you having to do something on the Wednesday when we normally tape for the Thursday morning program. Lionel Melanson called me and said that on the way home he noticed an activity going on, found out that it was the death of Mr. Frank Briscoe Sr., age 89 years. He had, of course, worked in the dirt service business alongside of his son, Frank Briscoe Jr., who I knew real well. And he also retired from the St. Landry Parish Solid Waste Commission out at the Begg site. And he lived off the Opelousas Sunset Highway, the old Opelousas Sunset Highway, 182 as we refer to it. I don't know the funeral arrangement yet, but I wanted to pass this on so you can be looking to it. A real nice, well-known man, and was one of the very first lottery winners when the lottery became lawful in Louisiana. He won a little small lottery, not sure what it was, but it was, you know, $1 million or more, if my memory serves me correctly.
There you go. How about this? Mother's Day time, we're going to have a Mary of Nazareth portrayal. The movie Mary of Nazareth will be at the Celebrity Theater in Broussard, Thursday, May 8th. That's just before Mother's Day. Only 2 showings will be on the Thursday, May 8th at 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. They're asking $20 a piece to go see the movie, which is higher than normal, but the idea is this. The additional money will be used to help fund KLFT Radio, which is, I guess, one of the projects that the media company here helps to subsidize. KLFT is 90.5 FM Catholic radio here. So if you want to find out more information about it, you can get tickets over at Acadian Religious and Gifts in Lafayette, here at Delta Media in Karen Crow. Seating is limited, so you want to call ahead to get your tickets, 896-2605. Good calls.
Okay, let's see a couple of pictures here. We have a lot of photos for today.
How about this one? We're at Back in Time.
Back in Time, and this couple here, the gentleman is out of New York, lives in Lawtell now. I've got his name and everything, but...
in Opelousas, there on Courthouse Square, right? Back in Time.
We're back in time. Miss Wanda Juno, there should be another picture there.
I can show her right here.
That is Miss Wanda, the proprietor, the owner, has been there since it's opened. And she has some unique sandwiches and unique salads. And the best dessert that a person can make.
She's won quite a few prizes at different cooking events.
And she gets to serve her desserts at large catered events. The person will say, well, we want so-and-so to do the catering, but if you don't mind, let us buy and get the catering done by Wanda's Back in Time, downtown, Opelousas, across from the street, Courthouse Square. And this was the project we talked about last week. My vehicle was there. Lionel Leger, better known as Dago in the community, was with me and did the job, and look how beautiful it turned out.
Oh, nice.
Father Jared was very, very happy. This is a group of us having dinner now over at Préjean's. And that's Kenny and Laura on the left. They're insurance agents. Laura is a State Farm agent. Kenny, her husband, is an independent agent and does a lot of flood insurance business with Noel.
And the 2 Noels on the right.
That's right. The girl right in the back of him is Noel, and her family name is Janson. And we're going to show you her mom and daddy. Her daddy's got roots from Alexandria and Avoyelles Parish. And this is the band playing, entertaining us over at Préjean's, basically every night during the week, I think, every night.
And the fiddle player's not there, James Perry, my good friend who you showed some pictures I went to high school with, and I saw James playing for the Cycle Zydeco bike ride in Sunset last Friday. Good afternoon, or good morning, James.
Remember he had told me to be sure to tell you hello.
I hadn't seen him in years, but I pulled his chain.
And if you talk to Jean, he said to be sure to let John know hello too.
There you go. So
my niece, Jean Dupre.
But I teased him. I said, you know, it's a long ways. I have to come all the way to Sunset to play the fiddle. I said, there's no fiddle work in Port Barry. You know, boy, I had to tease him, pull his chain. Good morning, James. And
this is a couple from Church Point, and if I took the name, I misplaced it. But good morning, or good afternoon. Well, it could be morning or afternoon.
Another shot of the band.
They watched the program, another shot of the band, and the band changes nearly every night. And these folks here, I could tell from the windburn on their face and arms that they had been riding motorcycles, and they were from Kansas City area, and had ridden about 500 miles that day, and they were enjoying the Cajun food, and of course they enjoyed the fiddling and the accordion music, and just a real nice group of people. And I do have an email where we're going to have to email her a copy of that picture.
Now, what y'all doing? Y'all loading a golf cart at Seminole Point?
We're going to New Iberia and get some new batteries installed in it.
The batteries are worn out?
Yeah, you have to turn the batteries in, so we decided to just bring the whole thing over there and let them install them, and new cables are necessary or anything.
This is at the Trappe restaurant?
Trappe restaurant. I thought when I saw him from the side, he looked like my cousin Buren Dupre from Prairie Rome. And when he stopped by, I stopped him when he was going to pay his bill, and I said, can I have a word with you? I said, you sure look like my cousin, how he looked. And she looked at her husband. She says, I just said that you looked, talking to me, that you looked like his cousin. So there you go. We had a good conversation. You bet. Nice. And that's the big oak tree, the Bernard Trappe live oak. Beautiful backyard there.
Tree would have been planted in 1630.
Over 350 years. And this is the maitre d' and the cashier here. And the girl on the left also is the bartender from about, I think she said 4 to 10 at night.
And
Blue Dog. I think this is an original.
And we've got...
we're at the Little River Inn, which is the Hearst family location in New Iberia on Main Street. And of course, they have the well-known, well-established
Poor Boys
Riverside Inn, right outside of Lafayette, between Lafayette and Broussard.
Dr. Jimmy Gottschall, I believe, probably owns almost the entire building because every time I've gone, he has been there. We tease each other which one of us owns the place because we're always there. But there's Miss Vicky sitting outside.
Yeah, starting to move around a little bit.
Getting that foot better?
Yeah,
after surgery.
She's encouraged not to walk, and right now she's at the doctor's office, Dr. Angela's office, over in Lafayette to see if maybe she can relieve herself of that big heavy boot.
Yeah.
And this young lady here was with a group of travelers, tourists, and I understood French, got to talking to her and found out that she was a university graduate. And good morning to you all. I realized that I can't speak as well as her, but we communicated pretty well. And that's the beautiful bus that they're riding on out of Marrero, Louisiana.
Coach.
Yep, this company is out of Marrero, across the river from New Orleans.
And you're back at the point. That's
back at the point.
Launch.
Now we're almost over with 35 seconds, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
This is lots of fishing going on. That's
we have a
dockside right next to the boat launch.
Ice and bait and tackles and beer.
We had no convenience store, so we have one, and I hope that they do well.
In St. Francis Chapel.
This is the chapel that I attend Mass when I'm there on Sundays.
They've really redone it, real nice.
That statue is in honor.
And Gary Begnow's the guy that did a lot of the work around the church to help maintain it and bring it back from the hurricanes.
I'm just wondering if Nicky, his son, and daughter-in-law and wife, Miss Barbara, have anything to do with the kind of landscaping has improved.
We're going to have to take a break. We'll see you folks on the other side of 1 minute for the second half.
Welcome back to the third quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show. We do it in 4 quarters, and my sidekick here is Andrew Guitros.
Good morning.
And we'd like to get a couple of our good, dependable, steady sponsors.
I can do it. JB Sandals. Let me tell you all, the weather's beautiful. So the grass knows it, and you know what your grass is doing? It's growing. So you got to get out in that yard. You got to clean it up. You know, my fence line every year, man, I clean it all the way back. It looks perfect and clean. And come after winter, I mean, it's got the poison ivy sprouted, and some little saplings jump up. Go by JB Sandals. Get all the stuff you need to keep your yard clean, from the rakes and your yard gloves, your water hoses, your nozzles, your wheelbarrows.
Ant poison.
Ant poison, absolutely, very important.
Right now, they're making their presence shown.
Oh, that's right. And you can also, you know, still at the last minute for crawfish boiling, you can get your boiling pots, you can get your barbecue pits, you can get all the good stuff to have fun, not just the work work outside in the summer. But the
Old
fun
Smokies.
stuff. That's right.
Last forever.
And inside you get picture frames and all the good stuff, home decorating ideas. You can get plates and china and crystal and you
Good gift
flatware.
ideas for weddings.
And they'll gift wrap it all. And I think in town still, if you have to get something delivered in town, they'll take care of that for you. They've only been open 135 years. They kind of fly by night is what I say. 135 years. I don't know. Is that long enough? I think it's long enough. They are good.
So.
Good
One
people.
of the oldest businesses still in operation with the same family.
Good morning, Neil Sandals, our good friend. And one more sponsor. Let's go with, how about LHC Group? LHC Group Home Health Care, all about helping people. They can help you with hospice care. You and I talked earlier today about Gene LaBe. We were looking at some of his pictures, and just a good friend of ours who went through, one of those rough illnesses at the end of life. But LHC Group was there to help with palliative type care and hospice care, where they came into the hospital those last so many hours. Because hospice care is not just at home; it can be in the hospital. Either way.
I remember calling the hospice, Opelousas office, and asked for a representative to meet with me, and they sent a registered nurse.
Absolutely.
Sat me down and went through what she had observed. And I'll never forget, I asked her, I says, well, you think we've got, a couple of more weeks left of life? And she says, maybe a couple of days. I said, really? I said, I needed to go to Lafayette to a function. Do I have time to go and come back? She says, yes, if you go and come right back 3 or 4 hours, that I'm sure that'll be okay. Right. So I said, how did you determine that? She said, feel his feet. They were ice cold.
The circulation.
There was no more circulation. The heart was just giving way. And David and I went to Lafayette. When we came back, David Link I'm talking about, I said, David, would you stay here a minute? I'm going to go get my pajamas. I'm going to sleep here in the room with Gene tonight. And about 3:15, I heard a little movement, and I put my hand on his, and just all of a sudden, quit hearing everything. Then it scared me. I realized he had died. I was holding his hand like that. And I went out into the hall, and just happened there were 2 male nurses that were on duty. So I called them over. One of them came over, and he checked him. He said, "You're right, Mr. Dupre, he's passed." And that's when I learned how these people are trained to comfort you.
It's not just the patient, it's the family, supporting the family.
Suppose that she had not let me know that it was, she could have easily said, well, you got 2 weeks. She could have said that she wasn't experienced, but she was experienced and knew that, and she knew, and she started out by saying, I understand that you're very close to Gene. Right. So what I'm gonna tell you, be prepared. And I started crying. She says, I understand you cried too. I'm going to cry right now talking about it. But it's wonderful. Use their services whenever you possibly can. Absolutely. And if you're living in another city or something, they may have hospice care, but there's hospice care today all over the world.
Absolutely, and don't forget about the LHC Group for other needs as well. If you need a therapist, perhaps your girlfriend had foot surgery and needs one of those little scooters to kind of help her get around the house, they provide those type of things as well. All that type of rehab type work and equipment you may need at Louisiana Healthcare Group. And how about, am I sneak another one in? No, I'm going to hold the last 2 to the next quarter.
Okay, all right.
How about some pictures?
Let's get some pictures. We were at Tippamore Point. This is the sign
for the state park.
For the state park here, and they have a beautiful, about 3 to 4 beautiful buildings that house duplex apartments.
And this is the Intercoastal Canal.
Intercoastal Canal. It's very seldom that you don't see at least one tugboat ocean going or intercoastal going. And now we're back on Highway 90, coming back into Lafayette. This is Courtesy Chevrolet, and of course Courtesy Chevrolet is owned by Opelousas Don Hogruder.
There you go.
And family.
And here's the party, the annual Family Day for Imperial Fire and Casualty there in Opelousas.
And ABC Insurance.
And ABC Insurance.
Yes, sir. They have about 75% of the attendees.
And that's what Cindy Nazat,
yes,
I guess her mother that's there with her, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah, and of course our own Keith Nazat works here at Delta Media. If you need advertising for the Bobby Dupre Show, call and ask for Keith Nazat.
That is correct.
That's the guy. But there we go. We got Melanie.
Faye and Faye.
And Faye, that's right. Both working. Look like they're cutting some potatoes, I guess.
Yes, and they're making curlicues. It's a little
kidding.
machine. I had never seen a little machine like that, but they were busy. Everybody was busy taking care. And this is Greg.
Greg Thibodeau.
Who is married to one
Nancy
of the...
Thibodeau works at Imperial, but he runs St. Charles College for the Jesuits over in Grand Coteau. He's kind of the office manager, I guess you could say. And there's Nancy
right there.
Right, the former Miss Briscoe from Church Point. Now,
her sister works here, Beth.
That's not her sister. Her sister is Jenny, who works at Dupre Carrier.
Well, no, you see, I had that.
That's the way it goes.
Okay, I got it mixed up.
Now we got it.
All right.
And we got Blue Bunal, who's over there barbecuing some chicken, looks like.
Yep, and a lot of pork and everything else.
Everything.
Yes. And that's Miss Terry. Miss
Terry
Rhodes.
Shreveport.
Heads up the Shreveport office.
Correct.
For Imperial.
And they're boiling corn, and then they're boiling potatoes, and they're boiling crawfish.
Mitch and Kim Olivier have the contract to furnish the catered crawfish ball. And actually, he must have been busy. The Dwayne Smith group from Lawtell came in and...
They do a lot of work together.
They work together, that's correct.
There's
and
Bubba
here I am
crawfish.
eating some delicious crawfish.
And there they go.
And there's Joan and Vicky, and they're taking a picture of themselves. You think that's one of those? Is that what they're doing? They're cutting up.
I think so. A selfie, they say.
And then these are the Jansons. This is Noelle on the left, her dad Mick, and her mama Susan.
There you go.
And Mick, of course, has roots over in Alexandria and, of course, of Orleans Parish. The Jansons, that's where they're from. Right. And now live in the New Orleans area. And
there's Noelle Bunal, Bobby Dupre, J.E. Brignac, and Blue Bunal.
Vicky took that picture of us, and I made one for them. Each one of them.
You and J.E., y'all are talking something serious.
We're talking about the fairgrounds suit.
That's a tough thing.
That is pending before the legislature.
Everybody cutting up underneath the big top.
And I mean,
Mr.
that's Mr. Jasson again. And Blue and his girlfriend, Miss Joan, and of course a fiance, I might add. And
there's the
Blue
he runs ABC.
Does a lot. He runs the ABC agency.
And this is their to handle claims. Is one of their little vehicles that runs around and takes care of your claims. You get in an accident in New Orleans, they send that car right to you. Take care of your problem.
Yep.
Cut the check, hopefully on the spot.
That's correct. And that is Saturday night over at Evangeline Downs. And that's Mike and Babs and Jim Lopez, the Lopezes. And that's Jim, and that's Joe Rink, Mr. Joe Rink, I call him.
Helps run the syndicate that
and
you'll have.
And that's Miss Mary and her husband, and I can't think of it. And then the next one will be Mr. Fenton Crosby and his fiance, Sam. Y'all see the Sam in the ads for FM Bank?
That's right.
Fred Mills. Let me show you. I am taking Fred.
Well, I'm going to get there, too.
We're going to get there in a minute.
But, the place was packed. The racing season is on.
And this is Joan's daughter, Journey, and her husband, Harry, and they left the little 3-month-old baby with his folks.
There you go.
And they're out enjoying the first time since the baby was born.
Now, who's the guy on the left?
The guy on the left is Johnny Kidder from Arnaville, Louisiana. Lived all of his adult life and worked for Whitney Bank in New Orleans area. And Mr. Joe is on the right, and that's Blue. And those three know all their friends know each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
In fact, Blue, well, he's Noel, but we call him Blue. Blue and Mr. Joe actually worked together selling bulbs and other...
Really?
Yes, sir. When they were younger, Blue says that Joe taught him a lot about selling. Mr. Joe had gone to a sales seminar school, and he was showing Blue how
what to do.
Some of those things, and some of it was you selling toilet cleaners and how to rub them and get work. And that's the Tates right here. That's
Red Tate
on the left. That's
and Tommy Tate,
Tommy
all the way
Tate
on the right,
and his wife in the middle.
Football star, very, very big time at McNeese is a football star, Woodbury High.
Yeah, and spent, I guess, 30 years coaching at...
Absolutely.
And this is, I believe, Jeff Bro.
There you go.
And from, I think, maybe the Maurice area. I took that picture, he and his brother, last year. And Miss Chris is way in the back. She is the bartenderess
There you go.
over in the...
Now you're doing like Fred
Now
Mills here.
I'm
There's
doing
the
like,
picture.
all you need is the loan phone.
That's right.
Get it back to the loan,
phone.
And there's Sam backing me up.
There you go.
You see, Fred.
Just like she does with Fred.
You see, she can do ads with others
Absolutely.
besides you.
She got talent.
But she loves her job with Mr. Fred.
And then here's a little fountain that they're putting in over at Immaculate Conception Church in Washington.
And that is being provided by the Jesse Howard family.
Oh, excellent.
And Howard Pools. And this is the Jewish cemetery, Hebrew Rest. And this
Over
is
in Washington, the
Washington.
Rosenberg family. You've got the Levi family, yep. And you've got the, let's see, Plonskys.
The Plonsky, yeah,
Yes.
from our, Mr.
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 Pucci Plonsky, I'll get it out.
That's some of his relatives.
And the Wolf family and the Klaus family, and you can see a bunch of the different graves there. Large Jewish contingent there. And of course, there's a large group buried in Opelousas as well, next to the Cerebral Palsy Clinic.
That right next to the clinic.
Correct.
And
Steel
this-
Magnolias in Washington, antique store.
A little building that yours truly owns. I own that one, and good renters for, I guess, the last 5 to 8 years,
Might
at
be
least,
10.
maybe
Been
10.
a while,
yeah, been a while.
Plantation Antiques right
Across
across
the street, and that was the Klaus family home on the
Ah, I
second
see.
floor,
All right.
and their store, general merchandise store, at the bottom.
There you go.
And then the Leon Wolf store,
right
he
across the
handled
street.
wagons and probably would sell mules and everything else.
A lot of people know it as Village Boutique for years, and of course now it's the Wolf Building for reception.
Receptions, and got his
Beautiful
name
place.
on the building.
And then you're at the Steamboat Restaurant in Washington. Get mom away from the smell of her own cooking. Go out on beautiful historic Bayou Catawba. Try all the great food with Jason Hugay, chef owner. We had some crawfish etouffee he cooked today. It was out of this world.
Well, he
was the assistant.
He was the assistant.
He was the sous chef. as they
Craig
say.
Olivier was here promoting in this.
Not the farmer.
Not the farmer.
Right.
Craig is a member of the Breaux Bridge Crawfish Festival.
Right.
And he was here promoting it, which takes place beginning Friday, May the 2nd, Saturday and Sunday. It's a 3-day event. And Craig won this event, the cooking event there, a couple of different times. And he is the owner of Olivier's Custom Rods on 1208
As in hot
Surrey
rods?
Street.
That's hot
No,
rods?
no, fishing rods.
Fishing rods.
Fishing
okay.
rods.
Nice.
Fishing
Well,
rods.
We're going to have to take a break. 1 minute. We're going to come back in 1 minute, show the rest of the photos, and have a good time.
And welcome back to the fourth quarter. So we have to really get moving. And my sidekick, Andrew.
Good morning.
And we were
got him trained now.
we were talking about the Steamboat Warehouse
Yeah, we're
restaurant.
talking about Steamboat Warehouse, and we're talking about what's cooking here on KDCG that Jason Hugay is involved with. And also, let's not forget our friend Mr. Quibido, who works with Piggly Wiggly, and we're going to talk about Piggly Wiggly at the same time. Go and get all your groceries. This time of the year, I like to go get my pork steaks, and Joey knows how to cut them thick. I like them thick when I put them on that pit. And they got all that there, and they've got your good charcoal and your lighter fluid. They do catering as well at Piggly Wiggly. 2 locations in Opelousas. The south end is where I go to see Joey usually. Simsport, they've got a location as well. They do all your different events. They just did, whose big wedding? They just did the Seminole wedding. Absolutely, and they did Ball Mosque recently. Do a great job there. If you're looking for somebody to do catering type stuff, if you go in the grocery store to buy all your good smoked meats, all your good Cajun seasoned meats, Piggly Wiggly in Opelousas and Simsport.
Now,
back to Olivier.
We'll come back to Don Olivier and his custom rod business and all. Well, he is a chef on his own, not a commercial. He's
just a very good cook.
Just a good cook. And he's won this cook-off over at the Breaux Bridge Crawfish Festival a couple of different times. Right. So he was showing his style of cooking. Very simple, but very delicious, I might add. Very good. Thank you, Craig. And good luck to the Breaux Bridge Crawfish Festival at Park Hardy.
Park Hardy, absolutely. I know exactly where that's at, on the main drag across the street from, what's the bank that Timeline Builders built right there? Oh, you and I should remember that.
Oh, that's Lourdes.
Oh, they built the Lord's building, that's right. That's there as well.
And they built the community bank.
That's what it is, community bank. That's the one I was trying to remember.
Yep, community
Back
bank.
to our photos, we're going to go back to Steamboat Warehouse, our other sponsor, with chef owner Jason Hugay. And here are those tables. They had all these old tables that you could sign before they varnished them. And you can see right there, that was done some year, probably 20 years ago.
These are 85, so right at,
So you can see the signature there of Bobby Dupre from Opelousas and Ashley Christ. I'm sure they weren't together. It's probably just a coincidence that the two
we
of them
were
were there
together
at the same time.
I'll take it.
How about this? Pat and Ray Bello. Now, that was probably a coincidence that they were there together. Probably Ray had got there early,
I'll tell you
and
what,
Pat went get him.
Pat put her name a lot bigger than
Well, it
Ray's. You
needs to
notice
be.
that,
It
don't
needs
you?
to be.
And Kermit Doucette, who's no longer with us. He died a number of years ago.
Absolutely.
He was a big collector of all kinds of things. And at one time owned the old Washington High School where they have the antique mall.
Right. And here we got Hadley Castile and his wife Earlene.
And Earlene and others from the local area, Palmetto, I see there, and Lindsay Lee from Washington, Louisiana.
Correct. That's correct.
And others from the Palmetto area.
Rolling through here, Ed Lopez, I see.
That's correct. And some Vidrines
Paige
from
Fontenot from
Ville
Platte. Sonny Wiltz. We got a whole big crew. And how about this? From speaking of Palmetto, Mr. Jeff Bernard, I guess, don't say senior, just say Jeff Bernard, who was one of the originators at People's Malt's Gin there in Palmetto, still runs PMG and all the affiliated companies.
And when we left there, I said to Vicki, I said, let's ride out on the Compress Road and see if the old cotton compress buildings are still used.
Can I say good morning to his good right hand in Palmetto, to Neelan Guitro? Good morning.
Happens to be your dad.
I mean, it's a terrible thing. You know, these Guitros, they get a job with these older guys that have a bunch of businesses, and they just make sure that they keep everything running on time. I'm not going to say, you know, what other Guitro has a similar job. I'm just going to say it's not unlike my job. Good morning, Mr. Bernard.
The buildings are still up, and they're all being used, and the next photo just shows you how big these buildings are.
Oh, yeah.
And that water tower there is
for the facility.
For the facility. Bernhard.
And they're from some of those Scandinavian countries.
Scandinavian, that's what he
daddy,
said.
I guess,
Scandinavian
came from there.
Country, that is correct. And Sunday afternoon, of course, the Allison and where I have them, I have that little sheet right here. Allison Moore and Phil Lancaster put on a little show.
Traveling exhibit about the orphan train.
About the orphan train, and the priest on the left is Father Enbrink, and he was the priest that communicated with the New York Foundling Home, which was a Catholic orphanage hospital, and they have put this statue up in his honor.
In his honor, he helped to bring all the orphans here and got them associated with families here. He was the pastor at St. Landry Catholic Church.
That's correct, and buried in the St. Landry Catholic Church.
In the church.
Right near the altar.
Absolutely, and that's Sister Sophia?
That's what I said.
I
think that was it.
And there's the whole group.
I mean,
look how large of a crowd
we filled the little building up. Thank you to everybody who participated.
There they are singing and showing
their
slides.
songs were about the traveling on the trains. And they were, the kid, you could see the little child.
Photos of the
when
kids.
When will they pick me up? When will they take me? You know, they passed another city, and my little brother got off, but I didn't get off.
Right.
And it's a good story they have. They're very, to be complimented.
Miss Flo Inhern,
who started all of this and just won't quit. I mean, she is a workhorse.
And the Dupres.
And Harold and Athalie. Harold was president of the National Orphan Train Riders.
Still very active with Vieux Village as well. Very active in the whole operation there where the museum is. Miss Flo talking to the group, and there's some authentic clothing from that time where the kids would have worn.
Along with the big, beautiful mural we have.
James Doge, who's, I mean, Opelousas is one of the greatest historians in Opelousas, knows everything about everybody, knows where you ever hear he knows where everybody is buried? James Doge knows where everybody is buried. He can go to any tomb and tell you who was there in the whole family history. Just a tremendous guy. Teaches at Krotz Springs. Great friend. And more
Friends
people
from
all
Plaisance,
in there.
and there's Mr. Red Oquay and his wife. They were telling me goodbye. They were going to another, Mr. Lucian Lapéry, and his father was one of the riders. And this is the Oliviers, who have moved from up north back to Orneville, where she is from, Ms. Olivier, and the white is from. And this is the horse sale that took place on Monday over the Equine Sales Office. And Don Stemmons on the right, Eddie Arsenault in the middle, and Eddie's son-in-law, Jonna, on the left, and they are all three horsemen.
There we go.
And Mr. Joe Rink again with Mike Miller. And then this,
Kelly's Donna did the catering for the event?
for the event, and they were busy.
Brisket
and they
sandwiches?
That brisket sandwich was out of this world.
I had the barbecue dinners at their little wagon on Sunday. I mean, tremendous food. And boy,
That's
look,
in front of the
look how nice
Lady
the
of Mercy.
sales center is if you want to go and get a horse.
It was a
right
packed
there.
house. This is kind of later in the afternoon. This is Stanley Seelig, who is the present president of Horsemen's Benevolent and Protective, HBPA,
The outgoing president, I
He's
guess
the
the way you say
outgoing
it.
president, and the new president will be sworn in Opelousas on the 6th at 10:30 a.m. at Evangeline Downs Event Center.
Boy, they $25,000 for that horse, so they're getting with it.
One of them went up to $67,000. All the way on the right is Mr. Judice, Perry Judice. Next to him in the white shirt there is Charles Ashe Jr. In the blue shirt is Charles Ashe Sr., about my age, and we've been around the horses, and he worked at Evangeline Downs, and he had a sales company himself. And next to him, I'm pretty sure that's David Mesh. David Mesh. There's another David Mesh.
There's 3 or 4 David Meshes.
That's correct. And these are the people with Muse, and they are the photographers, and they took the pictures of all the horses being sold. She is Ginger Olivier and Dale Ziegler. I think they're husband and wife, but I guess they kept their names. And the young man was Jude, and this young horse there, I purchased, and I purchased from a longtime friend, Mr. Jim Demmel from Texas. He was not at the sale. I called him up and I sent him a picture. This picture here, I sent it to him.
So it was Jim's horse that you bought?
I bought Jim's horse. Can you imagine how small the world is?
And then you went by King's Truck Stop and we saw
had dinner last night, Monday night, and saw this on there. I guess they're going to pass up. It's so late, the crawfish. That
it's hard for them to hire somebody to do the boiling when it's this late.
And do a good job. And this was a copy of
the brochure for the horses.
Equine Sales Company. This is the
Indian Hills,
Country Club, the entrance.
Earl Taylor's golf tournament. There he is with his baby brother, Mr. Harold Taylor on the right.
In the blue shirt is Ben Monclar, and the green shirt is Andrew Monclar, and their father was Leon Monclar, well known to St. Landry and Evangeline and Acadiana, and his brother Harold, of course. And then this would be Gary, and then Aubrey with Don's. Aubrey owns the 2 Don's specialty meats, one on I-49 and one in Scott on I-10. And it'd be Larry Latchley, Kenneth Manuel, Earl Taylor, Greg Doucette.
How about
kind of hurrying?
We're rolling fast.
We're rolling. Joe Swallow, the bail bondsman.
How about our good friend right here?
Right here.
We got Carl Daigle.
Carl Daigle cut his teeth when he got out of school with OPAC Financial Services. We opened him an office in Church Point and stayed with us a good while, and then went into banking and became a VP in no time at all.
But he's with a partnership now with Mr. Hubert Vidrine on the right, who's got Vidrine's Cafe. And they call it Infinite Petrol Distributors, Centerpec, and Infinite Petrol is what they do. But they do
oils, greases, specialty oils and greases.
Exactly. If you want to give them a call, you can call
Industrial users.
Call Carl at 277-6093. Or just ask Mr. Hubert over at the restaurant there in Lewisburg. And there's one of our friends here.
Mr. Joe Murphy, with he worked with the Housing Authority till he retired. He played golf there as a youngster, and he would caddy during the week, and on Mondays, somebody in the club would loan him a set of clubs, and he's still playing today, and he's about 75 years old.
Lionel
Melanson, we spoke of him earlier.
That's my buddy.
And Mr. Keith Bourgeois' daddy, Mr. Anthony Bourgeois,
There you go.
runs Anthony's Feed Store in Church Point, Louisiana.
And this is the new launch they're doing?
Well, it's not the new one. They're repairing it.
I see.
I copied my down ramp, the material
metal
we
grate,
used, that metal grate that we used at 3 Mile Lake. That's where I had gotten it. Well, theirs wore out. They're putting in a new one. And this is at the Little River Inn Cafe in the Hearst family. Right. And I just took a picture of these birdhouses. Kelly could look at these and maybe make some of those in her spare time. And these crosses would sell good.
Now, how about these pictures I'm going to show really fast? I went to Arnaville to the Étouffée Festival. You find your prayer book. I got about 30 seconds. Myron Chotin, Maison de Manger, saw him. Good morning. He had the 5K run. And Mr. David Mesh, another David Mesh here on the show. And there's Jason Mesh who's over at the festival as well with Miss Dolores Cubido, the town clerk in Arnaville. And who else? I got the mayor, Kathy Richard, who was the nice hostess for the whole big event down there. That's all the award winners. I'm not going to have time to mention everybody, but I'm going to give a shout out to Jason. Watch me draw a blank here. I'm going to say the name. It's going to come out. It is... son of a gun. Willingham, I got it. Jason Willingham, who came out second in the Étouffée cook-off. Good morning. Y'all know his daddy, Hook Willingham, from the Sunset area. How about this band? This was Clay Cormier and his band. And, of course, our good friend Clay Bertrand is his grandpa. And he's
very
the guy
proud of this
on the guitar. The young man, I forget his name, that played the accordion in that group. You and I saw him at the Democratic Convention. Did a great job. How about this picture right here?
Kenny Myers.
Me and Kenny Myers. What a good close-up as well. And one more picture. How about our good friend Gino Delafosse in French Rockin' Boogie with a picture with Miss Judy Mesh and also Christina Mesh. Got them right in at the wire. Let's
Every
get to
weekend,
the prayer.
we ask you to consider attending the church of your choice, and we try to close with a little thought. Maybe you want to call it a prayer. Lord, create in me a new heart, a new spirit, and a new understanding. Let me always rejoice in you. Thank you for viewing. Thank you, Andrew, for assisting. And thank you for telling a friend.